Hey guys, Zara here. So today I'm going to be doing this Indian bridal makeup tutorial for you all. The eyes are quite simple and all the focus comes to the lips, which is something that I've noticed when looking up for you know, inspirational photos of Indian brides. Yeah, it's all about the lips, and it's all about the red lips usually. So yeah, if you guys want to know how to get this look, then just keep on watching. So today I'm going to be starting with brows, so I'm just going to comb them through with a disposable mascara wand and then filling them in using the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade in the shade Ebony. And I'm just using an Anastasia Beverly Hills No. 7 brush, just because I really like the fineness of the angled brush. Next I'm going to prime my eyelids using the MAC paint pot in the shade Layin Low. I'm just going to prime all the way up to my brow bone, in a corner. Colours will just look a lot more vibrant on this eye than opposed to this eye where it's way too dark. A lot of people use soft ochre from MAC, but I like Layin Low just because it's a little bit darker. So it's a little bit better for my skin tone. Soft ochre just looks crazy white on my skin tone. Next I'm just going to take the MAC Pigment in the shade Naked. This is from their permanent collection, on a big fluffy Sigma F40 brush, and just apply that all where we applied the paint pot. This will just take away from the tackiness of the paint pot and allow other shadows to glide on a lot more smoothly. And since I don't have foundation on yet, I can be a little bit messy with this, because if I get it too far over here or whatever, I can wipe it off with a baby wipe before applying my foundation once the eyes are done. Next, on the same fluffy E40 brush, I'm going to take MAC Soft Brown, which is this shade right here, and I'm just going to brush that into my crease for a transition shade. So I start with my eyebrows raised to get into the crease and just make a really seamless transition. Then I take a little bit more on my brush, and I'll start with my eyebrow raise, but I'll slowly lower it down just so the brush kind of sits inside my crease, just to make sure the colour's getting in there. So one thing about this makeup look is that it is going to look pretty crazy until we're done. So just putting that out there now so that you guys don't think this is terrible, it's not looking good, I'm going to turn off now. It will look good eventually. So next I'm going to take the MAC Pigment in the shade Melon, and this is from one of their Christmas collections this year, but Melon is a permanent shade, so you can pick it up in store any time of the year. I'd actually recorded this look yesterday, but I'd used Christmas shades and I'd also forgotten to hit record, so looking back today I was like, you know what, if people are looking at this, you know, after Christmas, it's kind of useless for them because they can't even get the shades, so going back to basics and using permanent collection stuff. So now I'm going to take a MAC 239 and wet it with some Australis Makeup Finishing Spritz or Fix Plus, even water works. I just like using something with some vitamins in it for my eyelids. And then taking some of that Melon pigment, starting from the center of the eyelid and just working our way inward and outward. Because we want most of the colour and intensity from the wet brush to be in the center of the eyelid. Next I'm going to be taking Beautymarked by MAC, which is this really vibrant purple glittery shimmery shade, and using a dry MAC 239 I'm going to pick up some of that shade and pat it on the outer part of my eyelid. So it's a pretty dark one. This one's going to create a lot of depth for us. I like to look down into a mirror when I do this so I can see my eyelids and make sure that I'm doing it evenly. Patting helps to get the a lot of colour on. And then I'm just going to take a MAC 217, just a fluffy blending brush, and just blend that a little bit. And now I'm going to take a little bit more of Beautymarked on a Sigma Shader E47 brush. This is just a little pointed brush just to get really into the crease, create a kind of soft cut crease. Just until where your pupil starts, that makes sense, just here. 2/3 of the way in. And just blend it out with that same 217 brush. Next I'm going to take a matte black eyeshadow. Whatever matte black you have will work. I'm just taking the one from the Naked 2 palette called Blackout. And I'm just taking that on a Sigma Firm Shader E57. And I just really want to intensify the outer V. So I start with my lash line, just doing it there, and then try and pat it just outside Beautymarked in a rounded shape. So this is what I keep doing. I pat on the shade with a brush and then I go back to this blending brush to blend it out. So the look's starting to become quite cool, which I am not a fan of. So I'm just going to go back with that really fluffy E40, and I'm actually going to take Brown Script from MAC, which is just a warmer transition shade. Taking some of that, I'm going to blend out kind of just above my crease. Just here. Just to warm up this look a little bit more. And you can see I've gone a little bit too close to my brow bone, but we'll fix that up when we put the brow bone highlight in. Let's go over the top of that. So I want to intensify that Melon shade a little bit more, so what I'm going to try doing first is just wetting my brush a little bit more than I did last time. And taking more of that Melon pigment and patting it on where you can still see it. Okay, so now I'm going to apply a brow bone highlight just to kind of even things out. I'm going to be taking Orb from MAC. And for an inner corner highlight, I'm going to be taking Nylon on a Sigma Small Tapered Blending E45. So on my lower lash line, I'm just going to putting wetting my brush and then putting Melon just on the inner corner, and then just in the very outer corner a bit of the black eyeshadow. And for this I'm going to be using the Waterliner E17 from Sigma, just because it's a really small, precise brush that will help me place Melon just where I want to put it. Okay, so time for some liner to make this look less crazy. I'm going to be taking the Eclipse eyeliner pencil from Sigma first and applying that to my lower waterline and tightline. This is how I tightline, because I hate putting the pencil up there. Which is why it's always good to use a really smudgy pencil. And for my upper lash line, I'm going to be using the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Liner and creating a very tiny wing on the end. So now I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara just to make my lashes more black before applying some falsies. I'm just using the NARS Lengthening mascara here. Full Lash in City lashes from Velour. So the lashes are finally on, so I'm going to move on to my base. I'm going to start off by filling in my pores using the Benefit Porefessional primer. And to prime all over my face, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, because I know this photographs really well. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. I just find this gives me the most flawless finish and just looks amazing on my skin, especially for night events. So for weddings, it would be absolutely perfect. And I'm going to blend that out using my Beauty Blender, because again, this just gives the most flawless finish. Now to highlight my face, I'm going to go in my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW30. I'm just going to place it on the high points of my face using the Sigma Concealer F75. And now I'm going to set my entire face using the transparent Cocoa HD powder and a large powder F30 from Sigma. So now to contour my face, I'm going to be using my custom Anastasia contour kit. So this is like, I picked the shades and I made this one up myself. So I'm going to go in with the shade, I believe it's called Carib, and it's just this really dark one. It's the darkest one they have. On a NARS Ida brush, and just carve out some cheekbones. And then just leaving that streak there, I'm going to go in with this Haku Hodo brush and the shade, I think it's Clay from Anastasia. I'm going to blend it out. For blush, I'm going to be taking this one from Sigma. It's in the shade Cheeky. And just using a MAC 168. And for a highlight, I'm going to be using this shimmer brick in the shade Bronze from Bobbi Brown. Just going to apply a very small amount on the dip of my nose and my cupid's bow, and just on the tops of my cheekbones. So for lips, something I've noticed with every Indian bride is that they wear a red lipstick, so I'm going to start off by lining my lips with this Essence lip liner in the shade Femme Fatale. And for lipstick, I'm going to be using this really long lasting one from Hourglass. It's in the shade Icon, and it's one of their liquid lipsticks, so it will dry matte.
प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम तुझे देखा तो ये.
So that is the end of the makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!